Before I turn on the lights, this is your last chance to leave. Not because what you're about to hear isn't real, but because once you hear it, you'll start noticing things that you didn't notice before. Shadows where there shouldn't be any. Sounds that don't have a source. Paranormal Files Live doesn't summon anything. It just opens the door. You hear beeping monitors, intercom announcements, hurried footsteps, medical staff moving. Then, a child's voice, but wrong, too deep, inhuman. This child is possessed on December 2011. It's a deep, growling male voice from a 7-year-old's body. You cannot help them. They belong to me. These bodies are mine. You and your white coats with your medicine and your science. You are powerless here. You hear medical staff gasping, backing away, and nurse crying, a doctor's voice shaking. A doctor, terrified, professional, has lost his composure completely. He's breaking. This isn't possible. I did not just see what I think I saw. I did not see a child walking up a wall, walking across the ceiling. I've been a physician for 20 years. Doctor, we all saw it. I don't believe in this stuff, but I'm seeing it. Multiple witnesses. We're all seeing it. Hold on one second, guys. Just a second. What's wrong?
Unknown caller.
You hear medical staff running chaos. Security called, children laughing, but with deep voices. Adult male voices from children's bodies. Then, silence. Heavy silence. Heavy breathing, fear. December 2021. The Ammons family. December 2011, Methodist Hospital, Gary, Indiana. The Ammons family rushed their 3 children to the emergency room. Why? Because their 12-year-old had just walked up a wall and across a ceiling. The 9-year-old was hissing and growling like an animal. The 7-year-old was speaking in a deep, guttural voice. Latoya Ammons told the doctors, "My children are being possessed by demons." The medical staff thought that she was completely delusional. Something was definitely wrong with her. The medical staff, they prepared a psychiatric evaluations, but then the children started exhibiting demonic behavior right in front of them. In the hospital, in front of dozens of witnesses. What happened at Methodist Hospital that night changed everything. Because it wasn't just the family witnessing the possession anymore. Now it was doctors, nurses, psychiatrists, child protective service workers, police officers, security guards. It was all of them. It wasn't just Latoya Ammons and her mother. Now, other people were witnessing it. These were professionals with credentials who documented everything, who gave sworn testimony, who put their reputations on the line. To say that we witnessed demonic possession and we cannot explain it, tonight, I'm going to share their testimony. What they saw, what they documented, and why this case became one of the most credible demonic hauntings in history. Welcome to night 2 of Paranormal Files Live. Case number 10, the Ammons haunting, or as most of you are familiar with, the Demon House. I'm Bryn Morgan. Monday night, we met the family and witnessed the haunting begin. Tonight, we hear from the professionals. We hear from people who actually witnessed these children being possessed. And we see the documentation that proves that this was real. This is the night that changed literally everything. The night the world had to take this case seriously. Let's do roll call. You here for night 1? Yes or no? Where are you watching from tonight? Do you believe that professional witnesses, doctors, police, caseworkers make a paranormal case more credible? Yes or no? Have you ever had a paranormal experience that someone else was witness to? Yes, I have. Most important, are you ready to hear testimony from medical professionals who witnessed the demonic possession of the Ammons children firsthand? It is documented. Yes or no? Sally Ann says yes. Welcome in. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Vox Cora. Hello, Chastity. Oh my goodness, I had nightmares Monday and sleep paralysis. Oh my gosh. Hey, X. Hey, Melanie. Hey, Amber. Welcome in. Welcome in, Parafam. Summer Sunshine, thank you for the follow. Shirley, hello. Booking through Live 77, hello. Chastity Castle, welcome in. Monkey, welcome in. It definitely makes it more credible in my eyes that doctors saw it, psychiatrists saw it, nurses saw it. Hey, Pete. Welcome in, everyone. If you are brand new here, my name is Bryn Morgan. I'm a horror author and I love the paranormal. And tonight we are doing case 10, night 2 of the Demon House in Gary, Indiana. This is one of the creepiest cases. Oh my gosh, so creepy. So come in, enjoy yourselves, interact, answer the questions, and let's have some spooky fun. So tonight is going to be different from night 1. Last Monday, we heard from the family. Tonight, we are going to hear from the outsiders. Doctors, nurses, social workers, police. These were people that had absolutely zero reason to lie. People who risked their careers to tell the truth. Let's start with what happened at the hospital. After the 12-year-old walked up the wall at home, LaToya called 911. And this is what she said. 911, what's your emergency? Yeah, I need help at my house. I need help at my house. Okay, ma'am, you need to calm down. What's going on? My kids, they're demon possessed. My boy is walking up the wall and across the ceiling. I'm sorry, but what? You heard me. Please get an ambulance out here immediately. The paramedics arrived. They found 3 children, extremely agitated, not responding normally, eyes dilated, and they were speaking incoherently, babbling. The paramedics had no idea what they were dealing with here. They thought drug exposure, toxins, psychiatric emergency. They transported the family to the Medical Methodist Hospital. When they arrived at the ER, it was late. The family arrived around 10 p.m. They had to sit in the emergency room for no telling how long. LaToya immediately told the intake nurse, "My children are being possessed by demons. We need help. Evil is in our house and it's taking over my babies." The nurse's reaction, as you can imagine, was skeptical. In her later testimony, she said, "I've heard a lot of things in the ER. Drug-induced psychosis, mental health crisis, you name it. I've been a nurse for 30 years, but when the mother told me demonic possession, when she said demonic possession, I thought, oh no, she's having a psychiatric break too. I called for a psychiatrist and a social worker immediately. Looking back in hindsight, probably wasn't the best thing that I did. But I was worried about those kids." The initial assessment. So the doctors examined the children. Physical exams were completely normal. No drugs in their system, no toxins, no medical explanation for their behavior at all. Vitals were stable, but the children were exhibiting strange behavior. So they have remained nameless in this show. The 7-year-old kept speaking in a deep, guttural voice. The 9-year-old would hiss and bare her teeth. and try to scratch. And then the 12-year-old, he seemed to be in a trance-like state. The doctors ordered psychiatric evaluations for the children and the mother. Because LaToya was claiming demonic possession, the hotel staff, as you can imagine, were very concerned. Was this a case of child abuse, Munchausen by proxy, a delusional mother that was harming her children? What was it? So they called the Department of Child Services, DCS, and 2 caseworkers were assigned. Valerie Washington was the lead caseworker, and Willie Lee Walker was the surviving caseworker. He supervised it. Now, their job was to investigate whether these children were being harmed by their mother. What they witnessed instead would change their lives forever. All right, Parafam. The hospital staff initially thought that LaToya was delusional. So if you were a doctor and a mother brought in kids claiming that they were demonically possessed, what would your first thought be? Mental illness, abuse, drugs? Be honest. The children had no drugs, no toxins, no medical explanation for their behavior. So when medicine can't explain something, where do you turn? Psychology, religion, paranormal? What's next? Child Protective Services was called because the staff thought the mother might be harming her kids. Do you think this was the right call, given what they knew at the time? Yes or no? If you were the caseworker that was assigned to investigate this family, would you have been skeptical about it or open-minded about demonic possession? And how would you have approached it? Booking Through Life says, oh my, yes, a priest. NICU Mama Moments, welcome in. Pamela says skeptical. Carol says open-minded. Welcome in, Dr. NICU Mama Moments. Pete says holy water. Shirley says skeptical. Lisa says open-minded. Pink says I'm on mute watching a movie, but here to support. Thank you. Sally Ann says skeptical. Ember Dowdy says open-minded. Carol says church. Hey, Ebony Eyes. Welcome in. No, Booking Through Life. They lived in the Atman's house, which was haunted and full of demons. Hello, Martha. Melanie says open-minded and a priest. What happened next in this hospital, in a medical facility, is documented. Multiple witnesses saw this, sworn statements, official reports. Let me share their testimony. Now, Valerie Washington was the lead DCS investigator on this case. She arrived at the hospital around 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m. Her job was simply to assess whether the children were being abused or neglected. She interviewed LaToya and Rosa. She examined the children, and then she witnessed the 7-year-old's possession. Now, I want you to picture this. You're a very rational woman in your 30s. You have been working with DCS forever. You possibly heard every kind of case imaginable until one cold night in December of 2011, you're called to the hospital to witness whether these children are being abused or neglected, and see something that changes your life forever. Her words. I was speaking with the grandmother, Rosa Campbell, and I was just kind of keeping an eye in my peripheral vision on the 7-year-old boy. And he started to fidget first, I remember that. And then he went from fidgeting to just kind of standing up and swinging his arms back and forth. And then he just increased in a very strange manner. His demeanor changed completely. And I remember I was asking his grandmother some questions, and he smiled at me. But it wasn't an innocent child's smile. It was not a child's smile at all. It was menacing. Adult. The only word I can really describe, evil. Yeah. Evil. I looked at him and I said, "Do you have something that you want to say?" And he said to me in a deep voice that did not sound like a child at all. I remember his tone. He said, "It's time to die." And then he began growling like an animal. I mean, I've worked with disturbed children for 15 years, but I've never seen anything like this. I remember that his grandmother started praying over him. She was saying something to the effect, "In Jesus' name, leave him alone." And I remember this 7-year-old boy just lunged at her. He tried to attack her, and it took me and the nurse to restrain him, and I was scared. I was terrified. He had strength that a 7-year-old boy simply should not possess. But that wasn't the worst part, Paravan. What happened next is what made Valerie a true believer. I pulled him out of the room because I wanted to create some separation from him and his grandmother. And they wanted to move the 7-year-old and the 9-year-old to separate rooms for another evaluation. And I remember very specifically that Rosa said, "Don't let them walk." And I thought that was like the oddest thing, but she said, "Don't let them walk, carry them. If they walk, the demons will manifest." She said that. I thought that she was being superstitious. I'm going to be really, really honest with you. When I arrived at Methodist Hospital, I was an atheist. I believed in nothing. I've seen so much happen to children down through the years, and I'm just like, there's no God, because no God would allow these things to happen to these innocent kids. I just felt like I needed to put that in there for context. The moment that the 7-year-old's feet touched the floor, his eyes rolled back in his head. I thought he was having a seizure. Only the whites of his eyes were showing. And again, it was the most evil smile that came across his face that I had ever seen on a human face. And he looked at me and he smiled and he started walking backwards up the wall. Just like he would be walking on the floor, he was walking on the wall, looking down at us the whole time that he was. And sometimes lifting his head and just looking straight at us with the most eerie, terrifying grin. We couldn't do anything but look. And then he got to the top of the ceiling and we were scared that he was going to fall. And he continued walking across the ceiling. His body was horizontal to the floor. I watched this happen. The nurse saw it happen. Willie saw it happen. We watched this happen. We were all witnessing this. We looked at each other like, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? All three of us were. And then another nurse came in and she saw it. She ran. After he walked across the ceiling backwards, he just dropped. He just fell to the floor immediately. And his eyes went back to normal. And he looked at us and he said it in the most pathetic, pitiful child's voice that I've ever heard. What happened? Why are you looking at me like that? He had absolutely no memory of what had just happened to him. Parafam, this testimony is in the official DCS report filed with the state of Indiana. Valerie Washington put her name and reputation on this. She 100% saw it. Now, Willie Lee Walker was Valerie's supervisor, and he always comes to the most important cases. When he heard what was going on with this one, he felt that he needed to offer Valerie support. He came to the hospital to supervise the investigation to see if the authorities needed to be called in. He also witnessed the wall walking. Yeah, I saw it. And I'm a rational person. I believe in science. I believe in psychology. I do not believe in ghosts and demons or the supernatural. Well, let me change that. At least I didn't. But what I saw that night in December of 2011, I saw a child walk backwards up a wall with my own eyes. I was standing right there, maybe 6 feet away. There was no tricks, no wires, no explanation. His feet were flat against the wall. He was walking like he was just walking on the floor, but he's walking on the freaking ceiling. And his eyes were rolled back, and he had this terrible smile. I will never get that smile out of my head. As long as I live, I will never forget that look. That terrible smile. And I don't know what to call it except demonic possession. I don't have another explanation for it. I've tried, but there is none. And I've been trying to find one for years, and there isn't one. The nurse who witnessed this boy walking across the ceiling and up the wall, she has chosen to remain anonymous all these years. But her testimony is in the medical records. I've been a nurse for 12 years. I've seen a lot. Car accidents, wounds that would make most people faint, overdoses, medical emergencies of every kind. But I've never seen that. When that child walked up the wall, I froze. I like scary movies. I always have. But this was just like being in my own. My brain couldn't process what my eyes were seeing. It was impossible. It's impossible for someone to walk up a wall. Unless it's rigged. But there was no rigging. There was nothing there. It was happening. When it was over, I went into the bathroom and I cried. And I called my pastor. And I said, I just witnessed literal demonic possession of a 7-year-old boy. His siblings are possessed too. I need prayer. I need to talk to someone now. I don't know if I can keep working here after seeing this. To this day, I still have nightmares about it. So, my lovely paranormal family, witnesses saw the 9-year-old walk backwards up a wall and across the ceiling. Let's go through who they were again. Valerie Washington. She testified officially to seeing it. She worked for DCS. Willie Lee Walker, a DCS supervisor, testified officially. An anonymous nurse who has absolutely testified and left the medical profession. If 3 professional people with credentials all witness the same impossible event, and honestly, I still cannot wrap my head around the thought. What would you have done if you were in this medical facility and you see this boy begin to smile and walk up a wall? But because these people with credentials saw it, does that make it undeniable? What would it take for you to believe in the supernatural? Now, Valerie said that the child had an evil smile and said, "It's time to die," in a deep voice. If a child said that to you, how would you react? I can imagine how some of you would. Terror? Action? What? Willie Walker was a skeptic who didn't believe in the supernatural until that night in December of 2011. Seeing the wall walking changed him. Have you ever seen something that completely just shattered your entire world view? What was it, if you don't mind sharing? The nurse had nightmares and had to call her pastor after witnessing it. She was having a literal breakdown. When professionals are this traumatized, does that tell you how real that it was? What does that kind of trauma prove? Pete says, need a real exorcist. X says, calling on St. Michael the Archangel. Looks like most of you agree. Shirley said, see you, I'm gone. Kim says, I would be horrified. Vox Cora says, I don't know what I'd do. Pamela says, I would scream. Kim says, I would call in a priest to help the family. Pete says, call Space Force. Melanie says, I would just freak out. Hey, Tigger. So, I mean, Exotic Girl says, I probably would be in shock. Vox Cora says, an exorcist. Shirley says, the poker threw at me by nothing, right? Heck, I think I just like him. Go on. Right. Booking through life. Turtle Woman says, sorry I'm late. You're just on time. Carol says, a demonologist. How are you going to outrun that? Right. I think I would be forever traumatized. And just in shock at what I had seen. I know me. And usually when I see something that is just shocking, like I'm just like I start out just like, and then, what? You know, like I go through a whole play of emotions. So that's probably what I would do. So this isn't just one person's story anymore. That's the thing. 3 to 4 professionals witnessed the exact same thing. All were willing to testify officially. All putting their careers on the line. But there were even more witnesses. And that's really what makes this case so crazy to me. You hear a lot of these cases and there was no one else that was really involved. They were involved in this case. The Gary Police Department was called to the hospital. Not that I know what they were going to be able to do. Why? Well, because the hospital staff needed crowd control. The children were becoming violent. Security couldn't handle it alone. Multiple Gary PD officers responded, and this is what they witnessed. Children speaking in deep adult voices, children displaying superhuman strength, children having knowledge they shouldn't have, and children's eyes rolling back repeatedly into their head. Now, one of the police officers, his name is Captain Charles Austin, he was with the Gary Police Department. Captain Austin later investigated the Emmons house, and he gave an interview to the Indianapolis Star newspaper. Captain Austin's statement was this: I'm a believer now. I've been a police officer for 35 years. I've seen a lot. But I've never seen anything like what's in that house. I've never been involved in anything like this. At the hospital, I witnessed those children exhibiting behavior that cannot be explained medically or psychologically. They spoke in voices that were not their own. They had physical strength beyond their years. And when we went to investigate the house, that's when things really got strange. Captain Austin and other officers went to 3860 Carolina Street later that night, much later. They were there to investigate the claims of paranormal activity and what they experienced. Captain Austin. The moment that we walked in that house, we felt it. The atmosphere was oppressive, heavy, like the air was really thick. It was cold, unnaturally cold, even though the heat was on. We heard footsteps when we walked inside. They were upstairs, but we went up there and searched, and there was nothing there. Nothing. And then our equipment started malfunctioning. Our radios, our recording devices, our batteries drained instantly. One officer's audio recorder captured voices. Now, we didn't hear them at the time, but when we played it back, there were voices saying things like, "Get out," and "This is our house." Multiple officers reported feeling like they were being watched, followed. One of the officers said that he felt something touch his shoulder on the steps. He turned around, but nothing was there. Captain Austin filed an official report. He documented hearing strange sounds, footsteps, voices, electronic equipment malfunction, EVP recordings capturing voices, officers' experiences of being touched, and a very oppressive and heavy atmosphere. Now, this is a police report, official law enforcement documentation of a haunted house. Trained law enforcement witnessed and documented the activity. So, Captain Austin said, "I'm a believer now." After 35 years as a cop, when a police officer admits to believing in the paranormal, how significant is that? Does their training make them more credible? Yes or no? Officers' equipment malfunctioned, radios, recorders, batteries drained. Have you ever had something like that to happen? Had electronics malfunction during a paranormal experience? What happened? Share it with us. Police recorded EVP voices saying, "Get out," and "This is our house." Do you believe EVP, electronic voice phenomena, is real evidence of spirits? Yes or no? An officer felt something touch his shoulder on the steps. But when he turned to look, nothing was there. If you were a cop investigating a haunted house and you were touched by something that was invisible, would you keep investigating that house or would you leave? Be honest. Lisa says, "I believe." Hey, Diane from Alabama. Hey, Julie. Voxcora says, I'd keep investigating. Shirley says, see, yeah. Pamela says, I think I would leave. Pete says, used to use blank cassette to catch EVPs back in the day. Oh, wow, that's cool. NP, thank you for the rose. I won't step a foot in that house, Kim says. Zoe Ann, welcome. Emperor says, no, I'm out. Katrina, we are talking about the demon house, the Emmons haunting. Diane says, I have been touched. Creepy. Positively positive. Hello. Alicia, hello and welcome in. Older than dirt. Love it. Welcome in. Zoe Ann says, I'd be like, deuces. Positively positive. Thank you for the follow. I'm so glad that y'all look forward to this. I enjoy doing it. Emma Bema, I wouldn't be surprised about this in Gary. It's a violent place, gangs, injustice, I'm sure. Oh, it's one of the highest crime rates. Yeah, it's bad. Really, really bad. So, police officers don't file official reports about ghosts lightly. They just don't. They risk being ridiculed and not taken seriously. But Captain Austin did it anyway, and that speaks volumes to me because he witnessed it. Now, let's hear from the psychiatrist. Voxcora says town needs a cleanse. NP says, I have smelled cologne. Oh yeah, I've had scents come through the house before. So the hospital ordered psychiatric evaluations for both Latoya and the children. The question was, were they mentally ill? Was this mass hysteria a shared delusion? The psychiatrist needed to find out, and quickly. So Dr. Geoffrey was called in, and he was the one that examined Latoya Ammons. His assessment: I evaluated Miss Ammons for psychiatric conditions, including schizophrenia, delusional disorder, psychosis, dissociative disorder. My conclusion is Miss Ammons does not suffer from any psychiatric illness at all. She is not delusional. What she is she's scared. She is not psychotic. She is rational, she's coherent, and she's credible. Miss Ammons, I have observed further, is that she genuinely believes her family is being attacked by demonic forces. And given the testimony of other witnesses of what has occurred, medical staff, caseworkers, and the police, I cannot dismiss her claims as mental illness. To be honest, I don't have a medical explanation for what this family is experiencing. Then came the children's evaluation. The child psychiatrist evaluated all three children, and their findings were these. The children showed signs of severe trauma, extreme anxiety, sleep disturbances, and fear responses, but no evidence of abuse by their mom, no psychosis, no shared delusional disorder, and no mental illness at all. The psychiatrist's conclusion was these children are being traumatized by something. They are exhibiting genuine fear and stress responses to whatever it is. But it's not caused by the mother. It's not caused by mental illness. When asked what they were afraid of, they consistently described demons and evil spirits in their house. Their descriptions are very detailed, consistent, and genuinely terrifying to them. And the stories are consistent from all three of the children. As a medical professional and as a licensed psychologist, I cannot explain what they're experiencing through a psychiatric diagnosis. So here we go again. LaToya is declared rational, coherent, and credible, not delusional, paranormal family. When mental health professionals rule out psychiatric calls, where does that leave us? What's the explanation of what is happening for these kids? The children showed signs of trauma, but not from abuse, from something else. Can supernatural experiences cause real psychological trauma? Absolutely. Do demons leave mental scars? Oh yeah. Psychiatrists said, 3 of them, I cannot explain what they're experiencing through psychiatric diagnosis. What science can explain something when it can't? Is it fair to consider supernatural causes? Where's the line here? If multiple psychiatrists examine a family and find all 4 of them to be mentally healthy, but still experiencing demons, would you believe them? Would they convince you? Let's go to the chat. Hey, Kim. Kim says possession. Buckscora says, yep, been there. Come back in, come back. Eloy Sanchez, hello, welcome in. Little Bunny, thank you for the follow. Yeah, and they were in a true demon house. Shirley says, sense of my finance. Welcome in, newcomers. Welcome in. If you are just coming in, this is night 2 of the Demon House. It's also known as the Emmons Haunting, but everyone knows it as the Demon House because of Zach Bagan when he bought the house, and we will cover that Friday night. This was in Gary, Indiana. Crucifix Bible, welcome in. Wait, is that a person or did you put that X? This was in 2011. They did. They messed up his vision. He cannot see the same. Hey, Goddess Lovely. Welcome in, everyone. So the medical establishment tried their best to explain this, and they couldn't. They wanted a rational answer. Every medical physician, every medical psychologist, of course, wants that. Now, let's talk about what happened after the hospital. The doctors were not able to help. The psychiatrists were not able to help. After witnessing the possession at the hospital, DCS opened a full investigation. And this was the question: were they safe with their mother? Was LaToya harming them somehow? DCS needed answers. So DCS investigated the Emmons family for months. They interviewed the family multiple times. They interviewed neighbors. They interviewed the children's teachers. They interviewed doctors. They visited the house repeatedly, and they monitored the family. And LaToya Emmons kept telling them, "I am not doing anything to my children. It's the house." So after months of investigation, Valerie Washington wrote this in her report: "I found no evidence of abuse or neglect by the mother or the grandmother. LaToya Emmons is actually a very loving, protected parent who is doing everything she can to protect her children from something that she just cannot control. The children are not being harmed by their mother. They are being harmed by something that is in that house. I witnessed demonic activity myself, not in the house, but at the hospital first. But then when I started going and visiting the Emmons house, I did see it. That place is wrong. I cannot explain it, but I cannot remove these children from their mother when she is not the problem." So after her report, DCS recommended that the family should not return to the house on Carolina Street, and they should receive assistance from religious authorities, not just medical. This is in the official DCS report. A government agency recommending exorcism? What? So, Child Protective Services investigated for months and found nothing. No abuse or neglect by LaToya or Rosa. Children were being harmed by something in the house, not by the family. DCS officially recommended that the family leave, get out of that house, and not only that, but get help from a religious authority, an exorcism. When a government agency recommends exorcism, how unprecedented is that? Have you ever heard of this before? Let me know in the chat. Valerie Washington testified, "I witnessed demonic activity myself." She tells about one such situation. It was in the middle of the afternoon. She was just observing. LaToya was cooking in the kitchen. The 3 kids were sitting on the floor. The 7-year-old boy levitated 3 inches off the floor. At first, I was in denial. I am continuing to see things from these kids that I have never seen before. And I remember before it happened, he turned around and he looked at me and he smiled. And then he lifted up off the floor. I left. Do you think that she risked her career by putting this in writing? Was Valerie Washington brave, or was she foolish? DCS said that the family should not return to the house. So If the government tells you that your house is too dangerous to live in because of demons, would you believe them? And what would you do? The family needed to be relocated away from the demon house. So if you were in their situation, you didn't have any money, would you rather be homeless but away from demons versus a house but possessed? Which would you choose? What's worse? Pamela says away. Jane says very brave. DCS is very unforgiving. I've heard stories. Melanie says, oh my God, those demons are playing games with all those people through kids. Yeah. 2011. Carol says, wow. Lisa says, no, that is wild. Zoe Ann says, it just got real. Isn't that crazy? They are actually recommending that they leave the house. Miss Satanic, thank you for the follow. Okay, so this is a deep one. So we are going to take a 10-minute break, intermission, and when we come back, Paranormal Family, my lovely Paranormal Family, we're going to continue this case. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm so picky. Oh, Mad Hatter. Sage. Pink says I'm ready. Tara, thank you for the post. Thank you for the repost. Thank you, thank you. I think her mom had a little bit of income. Hello, MIM. You could not pay me $1 million to go in that house. You could not, absolutely could not pay me to go in that house. I am cold. I'm gonna go get a sweater. Welcome in to Paranormal Files Live. I'm your host, Bryn Morgan. I'm a horror author, and I'm also a lover of the paranormal. And tonight, we are covering one of the creepiest cases, and it's true. The Demon House. Zak Bagans' Demon House, also known as the Emmons haunting. This case is crazy. It is crazy, it's insane, and night 3 is going to get even more intense. Oh yeah, Alicia, I could not live there. Absolutely not. Little Bunny says I wouldn't stay there. Demons are not to be messed with. No, they're not. Hey, hope you love Little Butterfly. It's insane. Have y'all watched the documentary? It's crazy. Palm, I am wearing the PFL shirt. Let me see. The only thing is, I am wearing the PFL. You can't see it. It's too dark. It's too dark. But anyway, it says Paranormal Files Live. The words are backwards, of course. And it's got this terrifying ghost. I love this one. This one's great. And it has Bryn Morgan down here. And then I've got the matching cup. This is like my favorite graphic. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. There we go. Is that better? This cup, oh my God. This cup kept ice for 48 hours. I love it. It's amazing. Oh, shoot. And it just That's crookeder than a dog's hind leg. All right, time to get back in. Yeah, the merch is awesome. X did a great job. All right, who's ready for the second part? So when we last left the paranormal, the Child Protective Services had made a suggestion that they leave the house. And when Child Protective Services tells you demons are real and you need an exorcist, that's when you know that this is serious. Now, let's talk about the media, because the story went national. It was January 2012. The Indianapolis Star newspaper got wind of the story. Reporter Marissa Kawakowski investigated, and she interviewed LaToya and Rosa, Captain Austin, which was the police officer, Valerie Washington, who was the DCS worker, the medical staff, and the psychiatrist. She also reviewed police reports, medical records, DCS files, and 911 calls. And she published a major story, which was the turning point for the Emmons family. They called it The Exorcisms of LaToya Emmons. It was published on January the 25th, 2012, and the story went viral, to say the least. Now, why this story mattered is because it wasn't tabloid journalism. It was a legitimate reporting by a respected newspaper and a respected journalist, with named sources, with official documents, with professional witnesses. This wasn't some lady claims her house is haunted. This was police, doctors, and social workers all witnessing demonic possession and documenting it officially. That's credible. People started reading about this story, and the story honestly divided people. Believers, this was proof that demons were real, finally. Skeptics, mass hysteria, started sharing delusions. There had to be a rational explanation for it. But even skeptics couldn't explain multiple professional witnesses, official documentation, children walking up walls, medical equipment capturing EVPs. The Indianapolis Star published a major investigative story with named professional sources. So, when a respected newspaper investigates and publishes a demon possession story with official documents, does that make it more credible than internet stories? Why or why not? The story included testimony from police, doctors, caseworkers, and psychiatrists, all named sources. Would you risk your professional reputation by being named in a demon story? What would it take? The article went viral nationally. Why do you think people are so fascinated by real demonic possession cases? What makes this case so compelling? Even after this publication, skeptics said that it was just mass hysteria or shared delusion. Do you think there's a rational explanation that accounts for all the witnesses who saw these demonically possessed children? And if so, what could it be? Hubby Love, my deepest condolences on your mother. Hey, bird lady, welcome in. One thing that sets us apart from most lives that you will enter, we've been doing this on Twisted Tales Live, which is my other page, for over a year now. And we're a family. And so we thought that it was really appropriate when we called everybody the Parafam, because we all love the paranormal, we all love a good scare, but we're family. We truly are. We've had relationships to develop, friendships that will last a lifetime. And when I hear that something is affecting one of my family, then everything stops. So right now, I want to call out a request for us all to pray for Hopi Love. She lost her mother, and I just speak love and healing to you and peace over this time of loss. Can we all drop a candle in the chat for Hopi Love's mom? What was her name? Patricia. I just sense that your mother is just surrounded by light. And she's at peace. And our thoughts and our prayers are with you. You're welcome, of course. I know how it is to lose a family member. And I just pray that you are just surrounded by just an aura of light. And that you feel this peace even now. Oh, I hear you. I hear you booking through life. Oh, I love cardinals. I love them. They're so beautiful and so red. So, this story changed everything for the family. This did it. They went from a private hell to a national spotlight. And that attracted attention from someone expected. Someone who would eventually buy this house and investigate it himself. And we're going to hear about all that Friday night. But first, let me tell you what happened to the children after they left the hospital. Medicine couldn't stop the possessions. Can you imagine that? You go to the hospital, you're evaluated, they find nothing wrong, and then you have to go back to this place? Psychiatry couldn't explain it. So the family was discharged, and they had to go back to the house on Carolina Street. Because they had nowhere else to go. After the hospital visit, the demonic activity just intensified to a higher level. It was like the demon was angry that they had tried to get help. So at this point, the children were possessed daily, sometimes multiple times per day. What I cannot wrap my mind around is why they stayed. Why did they stay? I would have left. I would not have went back to that house. Hell, the moment that I sensed that something was wrong there, I'm gone. I'm gone. Why did they stay? Why did she subject her children? You know, why did she subject her children to that? Why would she take them back into this house knowing what's waiting there? Am I the only one that feels like that? And I understand being poor. And I understand not having money. But I sure as hell am not going to live in a house that has a demonic possession. And I'm not going to take my kids in that house knowing that these things are in there. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. I refuse to believe that something could not have been done. Split them up. Take them and put them with family for now. But do not go back to that house. I just think that's unacceptable. So, Latoya says, After we came back from the hospital, it got so much worse. The demon was mad. Okay, so you go back in a house where a mad demon is. Got it. It was like it was punishing us for trying to expose it. My kids would wake up possessed. They would go to school possessed. They would come home possessed every single day. I couldn't send them to school anymore. The teachers were terrified. Other kids were scared. My daughter tried to attack another student while possessed. I had to keep them home, but keeping them in that house was destroying them. So make them go. Take them out. Leave. That does not make any sense to me. It just doesn't. The 7-year-old's experience. So the 7-year-old was possessed most frequently, and she would later describe her experience. And this was after all this therapy that she had been through. I remember some of it, not all of it. It's like someone else was inside of me, was controlling me, and I could hear them talking, but I couldn't stop my body from doing what they wanted. I tried to scream, "Help me," but different words would come out instead. Mean words, evil words. It wasn't me saying them. When I'd wake up after, I'd felt so tired, and people would tell me what I did, what I said, and I'd cry because I didn't want to do any of those things. I was so scared all the time. I didn't know when it would happen again. The 9-year-old daughter remembered more, and it haunted her. I just remember being pushed to the back of my own mind, like I was locked in a room, watching through a window. I could see what my body was doing, hear what I was saying, but I couldn't stop it. The thing inside me hated everyone. It wanted to hurt people. It wanted me to scratch my teacher. It made me bite my mom. It made me say terrible things to my mom. I'd be screaming inside my head, "Stop! That's not me." But nobody could hear me. When it would finally leave, I just collapse, and I would cry, and I would tell everyone that I was sorry. But I didn't know if they believed. It wasn't me doing those things. The 12-year-old, being oldest, tried to protect his siblings. He would sometimes tell the demon, "Take me instead." But he was already possessed too. His words, years later: "I tried to be strong for my little brother and sister. I'm the oldest. I'm supposed to protect them. But I couldn't, because I was being possessed too. The worst part was walking up that wall. Everyone talks about it. It's all in the reports. I'm not going to be remembered for whether I was a football player or an accomplished pianist. I'm going to be remembered as the boy who walked up the wall full of demons. And the thing is, I don't remember it. I just remember waking up on the floor with everyone staring up at me. I felt like I'd failed my family, like I should have been able to fight it off. But you can't fight a demon. They're too strong. So there we have it. The children's own testimony about being possessed is heartbreaking. The 7-year-old said, "Someone else was inside me, controlling me. So if you were possessed and aware of it but couldn't stop it, how terrifying would that be? Can you imagine? The 9-year-old said, I was locked in a closet in my mind, watching through a window while possessed. This sounds like imprisonment in your own body. Is this worse than not remembering? Which is more traumatic? The 12-year-old said he felt he failed his siblings by not being able to protect them. When a child feels guilty for something a demon did, how do you help them heal from that? What do you say? All 3 children were traumatized differently by their possessions. Do you think that these kids will ever fully recover from this? Can therapy fix supernatural trauma? Children. Lisa, they will never get over this. Vox Cora. Nope, they won't recover, Pink says. Can maybe one day. Maybe one can only hope. Alicia says no. Vox Cora says they're kind of marked at this point. Lemon Lucy says, right, what kind of therapist can help them? Booking Through Life 77 says, I pray. Tigger says, no. I don't think that they will ever get over this. I mean, possibly, a miracle can happen. Palm, that music made me jump just now. Mad Hatter says, breaks my freaking heart. When I was, for some reason, I wasn't scared. I was just observing. Lemon Lucy, welcome in. I love your name. Now I'm craving lemonade. Kelly Ray. Damn, that scared me. I know, I was like, uh-oh. Lemon Lucy says, oh, what a brave boy. Yeah, these kids are definitely brave. I just cannot believe that mom put him back in that situation. It's insane. Lemon Lucy says, oh, thank you. This is such an interesting live. I hope you're enjoying it. Booking Through Life says, perhaps a Catholic priest, but this is deep scarring. Vox Cora said it really doesn't make sense she would do that. Maybe the house sucked them in. Maybe. Maybe. I wouldn't put my dog in that house. Or my cat. Well, maybe if she's getting into trouble, maybe. No, I would not. I would not. Right, Jackie, I agree. Yes, absolutely. Like today, I would put her in the demon house. I mean, she deserved it. I mean, after she knocked everything over in here, she completely deserved it. But that's in the past. I was fussing at her today. Oh, she's just a baby, all right. Sure. These were kids. These were kids who did nothing to deserve this. They were terrorized, they were traumatized, and they were possessed. And their mother felt helpless, she says, but yet she brought them back. Finally, Rosa made a decision. They needed spiritual help. They needed an exorcist. So after the media story was published, a Catholic priest reached out. His name was Reverend Michael Maginot. He'd read about the case. Everyone had. And he believed the family. And he offered to perform an exorcism. Father Maginot was experienced. He was experienced with blessings, house cleansings, spiritual warfare, and yes, of course, exorcisms. He performed minor exorcisms before, nothing to this extent. But what he encountered at the demon house was unlike anything that he'd ever seen. So he went and had a meeting with Rosa and LaToya. The children were gone, and he interviewed them extensively. After the children got home from school, he talked with each one of them. And he reviewed the medical and police reports, and he concluded that this family was absolutely under very heavy demonic attack, and that a full exorcism was necessary. So Father Maginot prepared holy water, blessed oil, a crucifix, Bible, prayer of exorcism, and vestments. He talks about how when he was in the house with LaToya and Rosa and then the children, he experienced extreme nausea. When he went down to try to bless the basement, he became so sick that he had to immediately go back upstairs. He could not stay there. He also brought another priest with him for support, medical personnel in case of an emergency, and documentation equipment. Because Father Maginot wanted to document everything, it was crucial. But the exorcism would not happen at the house. It was far too dangerous. Father Maginot said there is no way that we can perform an exorcism at that house. Someone may end up being unalived. We need to perform the exorcism on neutral, ground. That house is far too powerful, and the demons, he called them demons, are entrenched there. The exorcism would be performed at church. Now we will hear what happened on that tomorrow night, when Father Maginot confronted the demon, and the demon fought back. So Father Maginot is prepared to perform an exorcism on the children. A Catholic priest reviewed all the evidence and concluded this is a real demonic attack. So when a trained exorcist says it's real, how much weight does that carry? Are priests qualified to diagnose demons? May I remind you of the exorcism case of Roland Doe? Father Maginot said that the house was too powerful to perform the exorcism there, that they needed neutral ground. Do you think location matters in spiritual warfare? Is the demon stronger in its own territory? The priest brought medical personnel to the exorcism in case of an emergency. What kind of emergencies happened during exorcisms? If my paranormal fam has been doing their research, they'll know. What was he expecting to happen? Father Maginot wanted to document everything. So if you were an exorcist dealing with real demons, would you want evidence, or would you want to keep it a secret? And why? Looking Through Life says a veterinarian treats animals, but worms. I think he's qualified. I think he's qualified. Like you. Pink says, it depends. Shirley says, demons telling your secrets. Kim says, yes, it's stronger in that home, but not at the church. Pink says, I trust priest. Little Bunny says, I had the honor of working on a demonic possession with Lorraine. She was an amazing one. What? You did what? That is awesome, Little Bunny. Oh, you're going to have to tell your story. Palm, thank you for the blow bubbles. Voxcore, the house is a demon too, basically. You know, I was just dwelling on that today. What was in that house? I know that, you know, I don't want to give everything away for people that haven't heard the story, but what was it? Little Bunny says, didn't Edward and Lorraine Warren investigate the demon house? Did they? Did they investigate that one? Kaylee, thank you for the follow. You like the paranormal? Sweet. I didn't know that, but if they did, wow. Yeah, Foxcore, they needed an exorcist a long time ago. Yeah, I would not. Why? Why did I make you spew water all over your melon? When I was talking about my cat, that I would put it in the demon house, she's evil. She's cute, but she's evil. Positively Positive says, it's like a death in your family. It's so painful, but after many years, we all learn to deal with it. Yeah. I'm not sure if you followed or not. Hope so. Oh, they did? Okay, so they didn't. They are. They're evil little creatures with the little yellow snake eyes. Well, that's one they didn't. They investigated most of them, I think. Oh, I love my kitties. I have 2 gingers. I have 2 gingers. Citrine is the absolute worst. She's involved in everything. She wanted to come in here tonight and sit in my lap and chew on my charger cord. And so I told her that she had to leave. Goodbye. Hey, Bonnie Lass. Thank you for the heart, me. Oh, they're just incredible. She laid in my lap for like 3 hours today. You'll know that you followed me if you see, can one of my lovely paranormal family leaders help Looking Through Life know if she followed? Oh, I love them. I don't think I'll have anything else but a ginger. They just have such a personality. Well, Dune, he's just a big fat, lazy, lays on the couch, buries his face completely in the couch. I love him. I love him. So the Emmons family lived through hell, and their children were possessed in front of professionals. That's like the crazy thing. So what we learned tonight, medical professionals witnessed the possession, like definitely makes it more credible. Doctors, nurses, psychiatrists, child protective services witnessed and documented. Caseworkers saw wall walking, months of investigation, official recommendation for religious intervention. What was it about this? What was it about this that the demon wanted to show itself? It was almost like it wanted to show off. Media coverage made it national. Indianapolis Star investigated it, named professional sources, and official documented things were published. And the children suffered daily possessions, aware but unable to control their bodies. They were traumatized and they were terrified. Queen Loyal, thank you for the Go Popular. Friday night is going to be a good one. We're going to talk about the exorcism that Father Maganat performs. 3 exorcisms. The demon reveals its name. The demon attacks the priest. This house is investigated by Zach Bagans, and not only investigated, but purchased. And ultimately, the house is demolished. Just wait until you hear what he experienced there. Let's just say he'll never see things the same way again. That sounded very sinister, didn't it? And ultimately, because some evil is too strong to contain. Before we go, these children are real. I hope no one else builds there. Did someone do that? Pretty good, right, Fox Cora? They are still dealing with the trauma of what happened. We tell their story with respect, and we honor their survival. So, before we say goodnight, after hearing from doctors, police, caseworkers, psychiatrists, and media, do you believe that the Emmons house is a real demonic possession? What do you think so far? Is it a real demonic possession? What was the most convincing piece of evidence for you tonight? The multiple witnesses, the wall walking, the official documentation? Tell me. Do you think the fact that professionals risk their careers to testify makes this case unique? What separates this from other demon stories? I've never seen one so out there. I think that is what is so crazy about this. So, drop a house emoji for the demon house. Drop a heart for the brave medical professionals who testified to it. Drop a policeman for Captain Austin and the police force. Drop a paper, or a newspaper if there is one, for the journalist who investigated. Drop praying hands for Father Maganat preparing to fight with an exorcism, and a red heart for the children who survived. Yeah, the wall walking is absolutely insane. Oh, yay, booking through life. I'm glad. Look at all those red hearts. When Priest said it's a demon house, yeah, pink. We have a ice storm that is supposed to be coming this Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I'm not going to hold my breath because generally it does not happen. Still vacant land. Oh, thank God. If someone built a house on that property, you're stupid. You're just dumb. You have absolutely no sense. Oh, I wish it wasn't over. This is my favorite channel ever. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Boxcora. You are such a welcome addition to the family. Love you. But hey guys, tomorrow night, the longest night continues on Twisted Tales Live. My first attempt at a Z story. Yeah, I believe all of this. Every bit of it. That's the thing about orange cats. They pick you, you know? Like, I looked at her this morning and I said, get your little butt over here. And she just looked at me and started twitching her tail at me. And then, you know, I'm just sitting there and just watching. 2 hours later, she comes over and lays in my lap for 2 hours. It's like, you're not pushing me, mommy. I'm going to do exactly what I want to do, how I want to do it, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I like that. Yeah, and, you know, I saw that and I'm like, the Emmons house is not big. It's small. You know, if you look at the pic that I have up there, and let me see. This is the actual Emmons house, the one that I just put up. It does have a basement, and the basement is creepy as hell. Aww. Robin, thank you for the follow. I hope so. What was the address again? I'm going to look on Zillow. It was, yeah, it only had 1 bathroom, 3 bedrooms. Yeah, they definitely were not being honest about that. It's a small house. That creepy basement is the worst. That's it. 3860 Carolina. I knew it was Carolina something, but I didn't know. I don't know. I know that, I know people passed in the house. I know a little boy passed in the house. We'll get more into it on Friday night. Okay, Tigger, that's weird. I am allergic to them badly, but I take 3 allergy meds daily so my daughter can have her pets. That's what I was trying to, you know, wrap my mind around. Why is it full of demons? Why that house? Something bad happened there. I would hope so. It's off the market. Well, that's good. I was thrilled to hear that he had actually tore it down. Oh, wow, Tigger. You had asthma too? Oh my goodness. We got about 3 more minutes. That's what I've wondered, if it was the house or the land. 864 square feet. That is crazy. That is small. There's something special about orange cats and something wicked. Well, I know on the actual documentary that they were talking about there was candles under the basement steps, like there was a dirt section, and I think they said there was a pair of women's panties down there, candles, just weird, really, really odd. Um, yeah, I know that someone unalived themselves in the basement too. Oh, that's so sweet. That's what I read, Carol. Yeah, that's exactly what I read. Everyone, come over and join us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock p.m. The story, The Longest Night, will continue. All I tell are scary stories. That's it. Perhaps, maybe, I'm going to actually look for some more information, perhaps on the history of it. See you tomorrow, Rhonda. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. I'll see you all there, I hope. I love you all, paranormal family. See you tomorrow night.